Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to our rent own webinar where we're going to take you through a new path to home ownership. We got a bunch of people joining us, so we'll give them a few minutes to get on and then we'll get started. So while we're waiting, why don't you tell us who you are and where you're coming in from so we can understand who our audience is. Oh, here comes some people now texting into the chat. Who do we have here? Oh, we got Chandra from Tampa, Florida.
Nice. We've got people down in Tampa, right?
Oh yeah, Tampa. We got Keith and Tyler to help them down there.
Nice. Let's see. I got Johnny in Philly. That's right by you.
Oh, my Philly boy. I'm right in Philly, downtown Philly, Johnny. Welcome. Oh, Marshall's coming in from Oklahoma City. We got a great partner out there, Hall. He'll take care of everybody.
Got Robert in Lakeland. I got Alicia in Denver. Denver, that's Matt and the fellas out there. His team.
He'll take good care of her. Takesha, we got down in Nashville, your backyard.
Nice. My team's right there.
Love Nashville. Those my wife and I get down there for that country music.
Yeah, gotta love Broadway. I got Chris in Houston. We have partners in Houston as well.
Yep. Taylor in Fort Myers coming in. Hi, Taylor. Welcome to the seminar.
I've got Liz in Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania. That's right on top of you, isn't it, Smarty?
Oh, that's my backyard, Liz. I used to live right over in Bluebell. My wife and I love going up to Plymouth Meeting to dine in the restaurants there. Welcome to the webinar here.
Very cool.
Who else? Oh, in your backyard, Spencer just came in from North Myrtle Beach.
Yep, that's me, man. That is right where I'm at, actually, right now.
Great area.
I've got, okay, here we go. I got one of my, I got Sean in Detroit. He's got Go Lions.
Oh, my buddy in Michigan will be happy with you, Sean. In fact, I just saw the NFL's doing a whole 6-week on your Lions team.
Oh, they're hard knocks this year, man.
Yeah, hard knocks. Very good. Very good. All right. Well, it looks like we got a lot more people coming in. Let's just get right going because we got a lot of material to cover. So we'll get this webinar off the ground here. So let's start out with some introductions. So I'll go first, Jess. For those out there, I'm John Smart. Ever since second grade, I've been Smarty. I'm known as Smarty the Realtor. I come from you here in Philadelphia, and I cover the Philadelphia region, Eastern PA, and Delaware and South Jersey. I have a team here to help you. I've been in real estate for over 30 years, and I really enjoy helping families get into homes. I specialize in getting maximum value if you're selling your home, traditional buying, but one of my passions is rent to own, which we'll be covering here on the webinar. I'm a family guy and just love my sports here in Philly and here to help you. So Jess, take it away.
My name is Jesse Gradoff, and thanks, Marty, obviously. My name is Jesse Gradoff. I go by Jesse G. I am a real estate agent and team leader. I have a team that operates primarily we operate in South Carolina and in Tennessee, as we were talking about earlier. We've got agents all over the place, but those are the big focal points for my team. I kind of like to describe myself, or let me back up just a second. I've been doing real estate for about 7 years. We've helped hundreds, if not thousands of people getting into new homes. Obviously traditional buy and sell stuff, but the rent to own, rent to purchase stuff, lease to purchase, just this whole niche has been a really big thing for us. It's helping a lot of families who otherwise wouldn't be able to buy. So this is something that's a huge passion for me. I like to describe myself with 4 words. Basically, I am, a husband, father, a realtor, and a veteran. The veteran part of it is a huge deal to me. Like servicing vets is a very, very big thing. I myself am an Army vet, so I like to make sure that we take care of our veterans. That's just kind of a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always have to thank you for your service, Jess. Army's in my blood. I was born on Fort Hood down in Killeen, Texas. My dad was in the Army, and really appreciate the service you provide our country.
Of course, man. So you want to jump in here, Smarty, and let's let everybody know kind of what we're going to cover today.
That sounds good. So we put together a packed agenda here. We're going to keep it. It won't be a long webinar, but we want to fill it with a lot of good details. So you come out of this, hopefully, with knowledge of new ways to get into a home. So we're going to start out with going over the different programs between owner financing, lease purchase, and rent to own. There's different twists to each of those that Jesse will go over. We're going to go over who these programs are designed for to see if it's a good fit for you. And then the more important topic is, once it is a good fit, how do you get qualified to these programs? What it takes to get approved. We'll go over how long it takes to move in to your new home. That's the magic question. And then also we'll cover the types of homes that our partners buy and where do they buy? Where can you live with these programs? We'll get into a little bit of detail around the approval process and the home shopping process and how to partner with us. And then once we get through that, how to apply. That'll be the call to action at the end. And we want to make sure you stay to the end of this webinar. So it's not going to be a long one, but Jesse and I put together some great free gifts and resources that you're not going to want to miss out. We're going to tool you to get ready to get approved for these programs and get going into the new path of home ownership. So why don't we go through the very first topic? I'll pass it over to you, Jess. Why don't you talk about the different types of programs that are available to people?
All right. Thanks, Marty. So we're going to dive in and we're going to talk about the three main types of like rent to own style programs or things, basically. You've got owner financing, rent to own, and then lease to purchase. So we'll start with the owner financing. So owner financing is basically where the current property owner is going to act like the bank. They are going to carry the loan for the duration of time that you're in it, okay? Or at least for a designated period of time. With owner financing, there's generally a little bit bigger investment up front. A lot of times you're looking at about a 20% financial investment rate or down payment, so to speak. So you're looking to put down about 20%. After that, a portion of your monthly rent would generally go toward the purchase, and the rest of it is considered like a rental, right? So in that one, there are positives and negatives. Obviously, one of the positives is that generally they're willing to work with a little bit looser credit parameters because they're going to have that bigger down payment investment. But one of the downsides to this is if for some reason something happens and you're unable to, or you don't want to continue in this, you're going to lose, if not all, but at the very least, a portion of that down payment. And then whatever you were paying on a monthly basis, as a general rule, you're going to lose that as well. So there are some drawbacks to that program. But let's jump into the next one, which is rent to own. With the rent to own and with the programs that we have, and we've got several, you're looking at a cash investment or an upfront down payment investment of between 1.5% to 3%. Okay. And what this program does is our partners will basically buy the house and then they're going to allow you to rent it. Now, a portion of this rent is going to go towards your down payment. So for instance, let's say your payment is $2,000. Well, your actual rent portion is $1,500 and $500 of that goes toward your down payment and your ability to take over that loan. Now that portion is going to be for a designated time, and you're going to set that up at the very, very beginning. So you'll know what that is. Could be 12 months, could be 24 months, could be 36 months. It really is kind of going to be up to you and what program you're working with and what best works and fits for you. But one of the other parts of this that's a huge port, or that is a big positive for this, is the ability to be able to, if something happens and you move out of there, you don't lose all of it. There's going to be some things in there, and we'll dive into that a little bit later as well. The last program that we're going to talk about is a lease to purchase. Now, the lease to purchase has the smallest initial upfront investment. With that, you're looking at about 2 times the monthly rent. So as an example, if it's $1,500, that would be a $3,000 down payment. If it's $2,000, it'd be a $4,000 down payment. Where this differs from the other programs is a portion of your rent does not go toward the purchase. Okay. So if you are going to do if you're in this program and your rent is $1,500, then your rent is $1,500. But what's positive and what's great about this is, one, there's only a 12-month commitment. So if you decide after the first 12 months that you don't want to be in the house any longer and you want to move on to something else, or you're ready to buy something else, and because life changes, you're able to do that. At the very beginning of it, this is another positive, you get all of the information for the next 5 years. So you know exactly what your rent's going to be for 5 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way out. You also know what that purchase price is going to run you for that period of 5 years. So if you're in a position where you're finally able to purchase that house, or you're comfortable purchasing that house at the end of a year, you know exactly what that's going to cost you. You know what the house would cost you if it's at 2 years, or if it's 3.5 years, or 4.5 years. You'll know exactly what it is, and you know that for a period of 5 years. So
that's really valuable, Jess. Like especially in this appreciating model. So as houses are appreciating in value, you're locking in that purchase price over a 5-year window is really magical.
Oh, 100%. I mean, there's a lot of benefits to that program. I mean, and that's that's one of the reasons that we use it so frequently. But that
Yep.
leads us to the next question, and that's who who uses these programs, and what, how are they used? So that let's dive into that, Smarty. So who are these programs for?
Oh, absolutely. Well, we work with families and individuals in all different walks of life. So to start, first home buyers. So if you're a young professional looking for your first home, you're a couple out there starting off, or you're a single parent, these are perfect programs for you to get into a new home. We deal with small business owners. So if you own a small business, or what I call gig workers, you have income coming in from an internet business or another type of online business. Um, these programs are a lot less rigid than applying for a mortgage. So we can help you get approved into these type of programs. Same with 1099 workers. If you're a self-employed independent contractor, we can get your income sources into these programs to get approved, as long as you meet the qualifications, which Jess and I will go over. Another one down on the bottom left here is fluctuating incomes. If you are an au pair watching kids, or an Uber driver, I have bartenders that make all their money with tips. Or one of what I like is bands. I have one of the popular Grateful Dead bands here in Philly. As you can imagine, with their income, they only get paid when they do gigs, and then they get all this Venmo tips and stuff. So showing their income, a typical bank mortgage approval wouldn't really take that kind of income, but these programs will. Recent college grads, a lot of the mortgages out there require seasoning on your income. So if you're just entering the workforce, you're going to have a hard time getting approved for a loan. But these rent-to-own programs, you could use a new job that you have and prove with a couple months of income, that track record, and get approved. And finally, we deal with people that are going through different challenges in life. So if you are going through a divorce and you need a house, you can get a nice way into this program. In fact, I'm closing tomorrow with a woman that has 3 young children in Philly, and we just got her a beautiful home to move in after a divorce that she's gone through the last 2 years. She's starting a new chapter in life with a nice house to start new memories for her and her family. And then also, finally, like people that are going through like relocations, I often will get contacted by a family that's moving in from somewhere else in the country into the Philly area, and they want to try a neighborhood before they buy. So these rent-to-own programs are a great way, not having to go into a rental market, but go into a rent-to-own arrangement where you can get in a house that you pick. And then, like Jesse said, your minimum obligation is only 1 year, and you could try out that neighborhood, and you have a pre-negotiated purchase price, if you decide to stay in that neighborhood. So as you can see, all different people in different business situations and life situations, these programs can get very attractive for you to get approved, to get started on your home journey.
Yeah, it's great. We get to help a lot of families that, for whatever reason, whatever challenge, just wouldn't be able to get into a house that they want, that they truly
Yep.
want. And with the limited rental market right now, this is a great option for a lot of people.
Absolutely. One other area that I'm finding is I'm getting a few clients recently, just with the rising interest rates. I have some families that are saying they don't want to go into those high mortgage rates, so they want to park themselves into a rent to own, let the partner buy the house, deal with the closing costs, and pay cash for that house, and let them live there with a rent to own arrangement. And maybe the interest rates will go down in the future, where they'll be able to buy it out at a lower interest rate, and take over that house.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Yep. Let's go into now the qualifications. This is the magic question. How do I get apply? How do I apply? And how do I get approved for these programs?
Sure. And the number one that I get asked right away, and it's always the first thing people ask, is what credit score is required. So the credit score that we're going to be looking for, it will go down to as low as a 550. Now it's going to vary slightly from partner to partner, but primarily that 550 will be able to get you into one of our programs. Another thing that they're going to be looking at that a lot of people are not familiar with is something called the DTI, right? And that's your debt to income ratio. And the way that that's figured out, and what they're referencing when they talk about that, is basically looking at your bills, what money you have going out versus how much money you have coming in. Okay, so the percentage that they're going to be looking for, it'll go down as low as a 45%, and that's pretty low. So that's that calculation is a number that a lot of people are not familiar with, but we do have some tools to help you with that too.
Yeah, and one thing to point out there on the debt to income and the credit score is it's everyone on the application needs to meet those requirements on the credit score. So if you're a husband and wife applying, you both have to be over that 550, and that 550 is also a FICO score. So if you're using a rental karma, or I mean a credit karma to look at your credit score, you're looking at one of the other credit companies. Make sure your FICO is over 550 so that you'll get approved with those numbers.
Great.
How about things like credit worthiness, Jess? Does that also come into play? It's not just about your score, but it's your credit worthiness.
Yeah, overall, they're going to be looking at a lot of things when it comes to your credit, your credit report. They're going to be looking for evictions. Have you had any evictions in the last 5 years? That's something that's a big deal. They're going to be definitely taking a look at that. Do you have any collections or broken leases? Any collections in the last 3 years? Anything that is housing related? Those are big things. Broken leases, evictions, those kinds of things are going to be are really big deals. And bankruptcies. If you have a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, as long as it is completed and charged off, you're good to go as long as that's finished. And even with a Chapter 11, if you made all of your payments and you've paid all that on time without any issues, this is a great opportunity. These kinds of programs will allow you to help get you back on your feet.
Yep. And then the other side of the qualifications is around the income, and the income is going to drive what type of house you could buy, or the price or the budget for your house. So in our programs, again, it depends on each partner. They have different thresholds, but the lowest income that we're able to take in any of our programs is $30,000 of per year of gross income. So that's before taxes. If you're getting a paycheck every week, your employer is probably taking out taxes. So it's not the net, but it is the gross. So how much are you making per year? Also point out that they're going to add all the income sources on the application. So if you have a husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, 2 friends, you have adult children, or parents that are going to move in with you, you want to add them all to the application. They'll take all those income sources. They also will take not only earned income, but awarded income. So if you're self-employed, you'll be, have to prove income with tax returns and bank statements. If you're a W-2 employee, you'll have to get your pay stubs and bank statements showing the money coming in. Anything awarded, you'll have to show the award letter. So if you get child support or disability or Social Security benefits and such, you'll have to show the letter that shows what the award is, and then the corresponding bank statements to show that income. That's part of the application process. And then lastly, they're also going to want to know that you have some savings, because as Jesse said, based on the different programs, you will have to put some money down. Our lease purchase program is 2 months rent. So as Jesse was pointing out, if it's a $2,000 rent payment, that's $4,000. You will have to show that you have $4,000 in a savings that are available to you. So if you get approved in the program today or tomorrow, we're start shopping for homes, you'll have that money to put the money down. So it's a combination of your income as well as your savings that's added to the overall equation when they're looking for the approval process.
Yeah, they're just trying to take and get a good picture of what your financial scenario is so that they can put you in a position to be successful, because that really truly is what our goal is.
Yeah. Let's go into a little bit about how long it takes now. This is a question. Once they get approved, they're like, what's the approval process, and when can I get my keys, Jesse? So why don't you take this one?
Which is really important, right? So that application process, the application is that's the first step. After you've scheduled the call with us and we've discussed, and we're going to make reference to this all the time, but we always do these discovery calls. Through that process, I do them, Smarty does that, all of our partners do it. But in the discovery call, we're going to figure out which program kind of meets your needs the best. And then we're going to get you the application information over. Now, once you start that application, what I always tell everybody is get all of your documents together. The more you have all of your documents together, the faster the process. So once you get everything uploaded, generally you're going to be looking at between 4 and 7 days to get an approval. Now that can vary slightly sometimes. If there is a little bit of back and forth, you miss the document or they're asking for something in addition, it can spread that out a little bit longer. But it also can make it very short if you have all of that information readily available. So when you do the application, you're able to upload it immediately and get it in. That does make that process a little bit easier. The second part of this is the home shopping. That's the part, once we've got the approval, that's the part that everybody likes. That's the fun part of this. But that part can vary. I mean, that's going to vary depending on, on what your needs are. So as I had referenced with that discovery call, and maybe I should back up and explain this as well. We're all partners in this, like we're together. So we're going to do this discovery call. And with this discovery call, we're going to cover, what it is that you need from this house. What does this house need to do for you? Are you a huge football fan? Does it need to be close to the stadium? Does it need to be close to the lake? Are we looking for a specific school zone? How many bedrooms does it have? Does it need to have a family room? Or do you need an office? Does it need garage space? Like all of the types of things that it's going to need. And that can dictate what that shopping process is going to look like and how long it's going to take. If the house that you're looking for isn't there, or it's not in the neighborhood, it can prolong that. But, ideally, we want to be able to get as much information as you can from you, and you communicate with us openly and honestly and give us all the information that, we need. And it allows us to go out and look for this house and hopefully find it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I can talk about the varies. I'll give you some examples. So I think, Jesse, my record deal with a family is I had a family get an application in on Monday afternoon. They got their income documents in right away, and Tuesday morning they were approved. We went out and looked at 3 houses, and the wife picked door number 2. We put an offer in, and the seller accepted it immediately, and 3 weeks later they moved in. So that was my record time of getting a family into a home, basically 3 weeks. On the flip of that, I have a family that the wife has such specific requirements in a specific area of Philadelphia where there's very little inventory to begin with. And based on our home requirements, we've been shopping and waiting for this house to show on the market for about 2.5 months. So that is very special. They are very important for you to understand. It's all based on, what your needs are and what the housing availability is in that area that you're shopping.
It really is. And one of the things that I'm going to say this a bunch through this, but it's an open line of communication. We have to have that dialogue. It has to have that back and forth. We have to be able to know what it is that you're looking for. It allows us to better go out and find the houses to show you. We don't want to show you a bunch of houses. It's going to prolong the process. Ideally, we would like to show you just a few and be able to find the one that's magical for you. Find that dream house, find that house that's working for you right now. But now once that happens and we found that house and we get it under contract, and as Smarty said, it can be quick. I've never had one that went 21 days. I've had a couple of 25s. I think my personal record might be 20. I think we did 24. I've had quite a few 25s. I have a bunch of 28s to move in day. But as a general rule, what we like to go with is 3 to 6 weeks from that time frame. There's a lot of factors that can go in there. Not only your scenario, but also the sellers. The sellers might need, they might be working on a new build, or they might need, 2 months for them to be able to close out everything that they need to get done and be able to move out. So that can vary slightly as well. So again, it all comes back to communications. You talk to us, tell us exactly what you're looking for. And our job as your partner is basically to take all those puzzle pieces, to put it all together, and to try to create this beautiful picture, this picture of this home, and get you into it in a way that works.
Fantastic. Well, speaking of homes, let me go into the types of homes and where we can buy, Jess. So the nice thing about it is our partners basically cover the entire United States. They like to stay in major metros. So I have a busy slide here showing all the different metros. And I have 2 slides worth of it. There's Philly and Myrtle Beach and Nashville, where Jesse and I are. They tend to stay within a 50-mile radius of these major metros. So me being from Philadelphia, for Liz and the team that are on this webinar, Pennsylvania in general has 4 major metros. We got Allentown, Philly, Harrisburg, and Pittsburgh. So they draw 50-mile radiuses around those cities, and that's typically where they're going to buy. Now, what they buy, 2 of the partners will only buy single-family homes and townhouses. We do have a third partner that will get into condominium associations. So it depends on what you're looking for. When we have our discovery call, we'll match into those areas. Some of the partners will only buy in certain metros. Some will buy in all metros. So when we have the discovery call, for example, when you discuss houses with me in the Philly area, if you say you want to be in Delaware or South Jersey, I only have one partner that buys in those 2 areas. So I'm going to point you to that partner. Where if you say I want to be on the Philly side, I have 3 partners that we could talk about your housing needs. So it's based on the partner and where they're buying. And then in the price ranges, the partners also vary by metro. So When you talk to us based on where you want to buy, the partner will dictate what the minimum house price is and the maximum house price is. And then based on your income that you show, you'll get approved for a certain home budget. And then we start our home journey together. So now that we have that, why don't we talk about a little bit about the approval process and the home shopping, the partnering side of it and what's involved once we go under contract, Jess.
Smarty mentioned partnering, and that's a really big thing. We brought that up earlier as well. At the very beginning of this process, we're going to do a discovery call. And what we're doing there is we're creating this relationship. It is really important for us to create that partnership and for you to understand that there has to be that back and forth. And again, as I said earlier, we're going to go through the whole list. We're going to go through everything about the house that we're looking for, what you're looking for in the house and what we need to be looking for you. And then there's the price. So as he was saying earlier, you're going to get your approval. And with your approval, there's going to be, a monthly payment that's in there. So let's say you get approved for a monthly payment of $3,000 a month, but your actual budget will only allow you to do, and this is your budget, not your approval, but what you're comfortable with is $1,800 a month or $1,500 a month or $2,000 a month or whatever it is. We're going to try to find a house that fits your budget, what it is that it needs to do for you. Okay. And then again, going back to that discovery call, we want to limit the number of houses that we actually go out and take a look at. Gas is expensive. Time is incredible. This is one thing you don't ever get back. You only have a limited number of it, a limited amount of it. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we know everything that we can about what you're trying to accomplish with this home. So we can go out and find the houses to show you that are, the best fits for you. But then the next step on that one, would be the contracts. And Smarty loves to talk about contracts, so we're going to let him take those from here.
Oh yeah, contracts are important. So the way it works is when we go shopping and you find that beautiful home, now we put everything in motion to try to get you that home. So we're going to work with the partner to get a great offer. We're going to create that offer packet and send it to the listing agent. The listing agent is going to look at our offer. And the nice thing, two of our partners use all cash to buy the house, so we're very attractive. If they accept the offer that we put in front of them, that's what's known as going under contract. So now we get signatures. So the partner is going to sign and the homeowner is going to sign those contracts, and we are under contract. It's really important. And a war story I always tell, and that's part of the role of our partnering, is we want to make sure that you review all your documents ahead of time, because once we go under contract, the partner is going to have things that you're going to need to do. You're going to be signing your lease. You're going to be signing your purchase agreement. You may have deposit money you need to put in. So one of our partners, you have 48 hours after we go under contract to put your 2 months rent in. So all those get put into motion once we get under contract. The story I tell is I had a doctor and a lawyer couple that were out looking. They got approved for up to $500,000. We found a beautiful home on a Friday. We were ready to get the offer together, and the doctor last minute said, "Time out. My lawyer needs to look at the lease agreement and the purchase contract from the partner." I said, "Well, call your lawyer because the deadline for the offers is due by 6. He calls his lawyer and he said, "Oh, I'm not available to next Wednesday or Thursday." So the wife started crying because she knew they were going to lose the house and they had to walk away from that house. So it's really important. And that's the role that we play with you, is we're going to make sure you know what you're signing, what the contracts look like ahead of time. If you need to vet it out with a lawyer or what have you, you'll get a chance to do that before we even start shopping for a house, so we can work quickly in finding that house. Once we find the house you love, we want to get it under contract and get you to the moving table, to move in with your keys. How about inspections and appraisals?
What's that? I'm sorry, Smarty.
I was going to say, what about now we're under contract. What are some of the other things that go on under inspections and appraisals?
That's, with inspections. So one of the big ones with inspections is once you go under contract, every one of our partners is going to, have the home inspected. You want to make sure that you move into a house that is ready to move into, that it's in the best condition possible. Right. So some of our partners, they'll pay for the inspection. Some of them require you to pay for the inspection. But the big one is that an inspection is done. I tell my clients, regardless of whether they're rent to own, lease to purchase, or traditional purchase, have your home inspected. Take a good look at it. Make sure you know what you're getting into with it. If there's anything that needs to be addressed.
It's been a crazy market. I mean, you're seeing these offers come in waiving inspections. It's the biggest investment you're making in life is buying a home, and
Yeah.
to go in blindly, not knowing if the bones are good of that house and there's no major issues. These are important steps in the process.
And it goes back to our partnership. That's one of the things when you get that inspection report and it comes back, there are items on there that aren't really a big deal that, maybe it's putting a little paint on something or something of that nature that are simple that aren't a big deal to you that you'll gladly take on yourself. But then there are other items that need to be addressed either by the sellers or by one of our partners. And we help you kind of guide you through that process. And that again goes back to our partnership, man. We're here to help you, to guide you through that, to take off some of that stress and to kind of guide you through it. Once the inspections are done and through, and we've got that negotiation piece taken care of, kind of the next step that you're going to be looking at would be the appraisal and how that's going to work. You want to jump in there real quick, Smarty, and take
Yeah,
appraisals?
so appraisals, if you're not familiar with that term, that's basically a process of evaluating the worth of the house. What is it fair market value of the house? So what happens is when somebody puts a house on the market, it's up to the listing agent typically or the homeowner to come up with the sale price of the house. So the agents are going to run comparable market analysis. They'll run comps in the area, what other homes are selling similar, and figure out what that home value is. The appraisal process happens after the inspection by the partner, where they bring a third party opinion to the table. So they'll bring a licensed appraiser. And what that appraiser is going to do is they're going to tour the house. They're going to look at comps just like a regular agent will do. And they're going to put their opinion about what the house price, value is. And the partners will use that as a benchmark. Now, I'll give you an example. One of my clients, we bought a house for $220 a couple of weeks ago. The appraiser came back and said, no, the house is really only worth $218. And that was the appraised amount. You have the option, if it doesn't appraise, to walk away and we can leave the house. The wife said, no way, I love this house. So you have the ability to do what's called an appraisal gap coverage. So in this case, the family said, we'll pay the extra $2,000. We really want this house. So they were able to take over and put that extra money in, and they moved into this beautiful house and they're really happy. So, but that's your option. Same with inspection. When an inspection report comes back, if they find major issues like foundation issues or roof, the partner may say, no way, we're not buying it, just like you would if you're buying it right yourself. You may want to walk away. So both of these inspection and appraisals are what I call off-ramp opportunities on the contract. So if something happens, we do have the ability to cancel the contract and look for a different house if there's a major problem. But we also have the ability to move forward. I'll give you an example. Just yesterday, I had a house where the inspection report came back. We closed on the house, but about a week or two ago, when the report came back, the partner wanted the homeowner to replace the water heater, do some painting, replace some bad electrical outlets, and fix some damaged shingles up on the roof. Now, some homeowners will say, no way, I'm not fixing it. And then you have to negotiate. But that's what we do for you as your partner. We're doing the negotiation with the listing agent, right? And saying, hey, this is what we want. And then this seller said, nope, I'll do all that work. And we were able to move forward with the sale of the house and get them into the house. So both of these are the role that Jesse and I and the agent you're working with will work with you as a partner to do all this stuff with you with our expertise in the market with appraisers and stuff. How about the closing process?
Okay, so
I think we covered a lot of it, but the closing process is a key step here.
Yeah. And then with the closing, so it's a little bit different and varies from partner to partner with how that process is going to happen. Some of them, closing day, you get your keys. Well, actually, with all of them, there has to be a transition or a transfer of finances. So with some of our partners, as soon as the funds are transferred and it's a recorded transaction, you're going to be able to get your keys and move in. With one of our partners, this kicks off. The closing actually kicks off a period that's called the make ready period. And with that one partner, essentially what that is during the inspection period, if something pops up that wasn't fixed by the sellers, right? Or it was something that was in there, that make ready period would be a period where they'll take care of that for you. So as an example, let's say the garbage disposal was broken. Obviously you want your garbage disposal to work when you move in. So during that make ready period, it gives them an opportunity from between the closing and you moving in for them to go ahead and replace that garbage disposal or repair it. It also gives them a chance to change the locks and make sure the windows all lock and things of that nature. Do some security and health things that would need to be happening. If it needed some paint possibly, or maybe a carpet replacement, because with this particular partner, those things are available. So that's the window for which that would happen. And then following that, it's move-in day. Just like with the other ones, you're going to get your keys and you're going to move in, and everything, that kicks that off. But all of this leads us to the next question, which is, how do I get started? How do I apply? What happens? How do I get the ball rolling? Smarty, you want to jump on that one?
Yes. So what we have for you at the end of the webinar, we're nearing the end here, is you're going to be led over to our resource page when this webinar ends. On the resource page, we have some great gifts for you and some resources to help you. We're going to have an opportunity for you to read our ebooks, for example. The ebooks that we're offering, we did a rent-own and a lease purchase ebook that will show you exactly what kind of income documents you need to show your income, as well as your awarded income. We also, if your credit isn't at that 550 level that Jesse was talking about, or your DTI is not right, we have some great resources to help you really increase your credit very quickly. There's also a Facebook page on the resource page that we're going to provide there. We highly encourage you to join our Facebook group, where you're going to get tips and tricks, and I'll have Jesse go over what's on that page. And then finally, there's an opportunity, and what we encourage you to do is set up some time on our calendar. Set up a discovery call. There's a link on our page where you can quickly grab 15 minutes on our calendar, and that way we can answer all your questions that you may have from this webinar. We get to know you, or where you're looking to live or buy a house, and then we can match those partners and get that application in your hands to get this journey started. You want to talk a little bit about the Facebook group, Jess?
Yeah. So the Facebook group is a tool. I mean, really, truly, that's what it is. Smarty mentioned the ebooks because they're full of great information. We have links to all kinds of things, the DTI calculator, ways for you to actually monitor your credit. I mean, we have all kinds of separate tools on there. But what the Facebook group is it's an interactive community that allows us to help you get to where you want to go. So it's a place for you to ask questions. It's a place for you to read the experiences of other people. So we've got a group of admins on there that are great. So you could post a question in there that you have, and it may not be a question specifically about this. Maybe it's something credit, specifically related to credit, but you post the question in there. And one of our admins on the group, or our moderators, whatever you want to call them, will jump on there and they'll put up an answer. It might be me, it might be Smarty, it might be one of the other, 15 or 20 admins or moderators that we have in the group. And they're there just to really answer questions and to be helpful. You may get all of us, you might get some of us, you might, but the key there to that community is it really is just there to help answer questions and to give you additional guidance. So it's for use before this, after this, during this, but that's what that's there for. And that pretty much wraps up our webinar. The Q&A, Smarty. We almost forgot.
We do have, as the webinar's been going on, I've been seeing a lot of questions come across the chat. So why don't we cover some of the questions that people have, and then we'll send you over to the resource page and end this. So let me just see what's on here. Liz was asking, are there application fees when we talk about applying, Jess?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll grab this one, the application fees. So with some of our partners, there is not an application fee. With one of ours, which is the lease to purchase program, there is an application fee. And that application fee is going to vary slightly from market to market. As a general rule, the most that application would be $99. And in that application, that's a household application. So everybody who's 18 or older or is contributing financially to the home will need to be on that application. What's cool about that application, though, is unlike a traditional rental, it's not one application. You're not paying one application fee per person, per property. You're paying one application fee for everyone who's going to reside on the property, and it's for all of the houses that we're going to be looking at. So it's got you covered on all of them. Let's see what we've got here. Section 8. Do you take Section 8? You got that one, Smarty?
Oh, yeah, I'll take that one. The answer is depends. Two of our partners, it's an absolute no. They won't take Section 8 to get into these programs. But we do have a partner that will look at Section 8 to try to get you approved. I just had a family here in Philadelphia that did get approved. The way it works, though, there's some loops you have to go through, or hoops. The first thing is you have to go to your Section 8 office to get them to approve you going into these programs. So, and then you have to have the letters and send it to the partner. The other thing is you can't use your Section 8 vouchers to show your income. So you have to meet the income requirements of the program in order to get approved. But you can use the Section 8 vouchers to pay for your rent now that you're in the house. So there is a few parameters for this partner, but the answer is, for this partner, they will consider it. So go ahead and put some time on our calendar, and we'll talk about your unique situation and see if we can get you approved. What else do we have? Liz was saying, she's moving into an area. Can she just rent?
Yeah.
Does she have to own the house?
No, so that's the nice thing. So we do have all the rent to own programs, but we do have that lease to purchase program. The lease to purchase program, again, is pretty cool. The only real commitment there is the 12 months. So when you get into it, you have a 12-month commitment. At the end of that 12 months, if you decide that you don't want it to, you're not interested in buying that house for whatever reason, you want to buy something else, or you want to look at something else, you can actually get out of it. You can get your deposit back, even as long as you keep that house in great shape. As long as you're taking care of it, you're in good condition, or you're in good shape. And that's, that is a huge positive to that specific program.
Oh, absolutely. Because you're getting out of the rental market there. I have a lot of families that, because of interest rates or relocations, they just want to rent something for a while. They don't want to go into the apartment scene, which is insane across the country. They can go out and shop for a house. And by the way, I didn't mention, but the type that the houses that they're looking for when we go shopping is anything that's for sale. So we're not looking for rental houses. We're looking for any house that has a for sale sign on it. And that's for sale by an agent, like a Remax or eXp or what have you, or it's for sale by owner. And then it's also, we can shop for new construction. So if you have a new development coming on in your town and you want to buy one of those new townhouses or single family homes, these programs are great for buying that new construction. So these are great. And if you just want to rent it for a while, that's okay. If you want to go into a rent to own relationship, you could do that as well.
Well, hey, Smarty, what about condos? Can I buy a condo?
Yeah, only one of the partners will do condos. So it depends on where you are. This partner, they cover the entire United States, which is nice. So if you're interested in a condo, let us know in your discovery call, and then we know direct you right to that partner, because they're the only one that will buy a condo.
Yeah, and that question was for you. Sorry, I was supposed to preempt that one. Let's see here. And what else we got going on? Okay, so we've got price ranges. So I know we touched on this briefly, but I've got a couple of questions in there about, what's the price of the house? What are we looking at?
Yeah, so that's very market specific. So every region that is down at the counties. So in Philadelphia, we have Philadelphia County, Montgomery, Bucks. There'll be different thresholds for some of the partners. Sometimes it's in the whole region of the approval, but in general, for my Philadelphia people, the price ranges are anywhere between $150,000 and $500,000 is the price range of the houses we're looking at. But again, it's very specific. I know your market's a little different, Jess, down in Myrtle and stuff by county. You go up to 600 in some cases. And I know our boy out in LA County goes up to $1.5 million for his region for some of these rent-to-own programs.
And yeah, and I hate giving that answer that it depends, but this is why we have so many partners and so many market experts that are partnered up with us. It's because every market is going to be just a little bit different. Every market's going to have need a little bit something different from your agent. So although Smarty and I are great in most markets and in a ton of markets, we're not perfect. We don't know all of them. So one of the big things that we do once you become, part of this community is we link you up with an agent who's going to be able to help you specifically in your neighborhood. Real estate is very localized. You want to make sure that you have somebody who knows it and lives it on a day-to-day basis that can help you with every bit of it. Let's see here.
This last one, I'll take this one. Is Liz was asking again she has a dog. Are these programs pet friendly? And that's an overwhelming yes. We love pets, but that's your traditional pets: your dogs, your cats, your turtles, your fish, your gerbils. No exotic animals, and they also don't want you to have farms of animals like 10 dogs in the house. So they are very pet friendly, and it's also based on where we're buying. So just to be aware, if you pick a home that's in what's called an HOA, which stands for Homeowners Association, sometimes the rules of the governing body of the HOA will say no pets, or have a restriction of what kind of pets you can have. So, but we know that, and that's on our partnership. We're going to go over that with you, when we're shopping. So we know what we're going into. If you have a need for dogs, we're going to make sure you're in a place that can take dogs.
Smarty, I got one last question on here, and I'm going to have you field this one. But what if you decide not to buy after you've moved in?
Oh, the nice thing about all these programs that we talked about is there's no virtually no penalty period. I say virtually. One partner has a small exit fee to get out of the house if you leave early. But all these partners are designed. They want you to own the home, so they're gonna, you apply. If you just want to rent, you can, and you walk away. But if you were planning on moving and you put down some down payment money, and each month a portion of your rent's going to the down payment, a year later, you're like, you know what? I don't want this house. You'll get all that money back. So you do have the ability to get out of these obligations. You're not committed to buy the way they're set up.
Smarty, I think we got all the questions, man.
I think we covered them. So we appreciate everybody being here. Hopefully this short webinar gave you all the information needed to get ready to explore these options for you. Again, we encourage you on the resource page to book some time on our calendar. Jesse and I can answer all your questions, and join the Facebook group. It's a great resource tool for everybody. So everybody enjoy and have a nice day.
Yep. Thanks. Thanks, Marty. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thanks, Jess. Bye-bye.